welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Nisha. If you guys are returning, welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys how I got pregnant with PCOS. So if you guys are interested in hearing my story and a couple of my tips, then make sure that you guys stay tuned. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button to join my family, and let's get started. Okay, so I wrote down some notes because I wanted to be informative. Of course, disclaimer, I'm not a doctor or anything. I'm not licensed by any chance. This is just one research that I found while looking, and then just basically talking about how we as women can take control of our health and make sure that we're getting the proper care and the attention that we need from our healthcare providers. So anyways, with that being said, I'll start with what is PCOS. So I know when I first heard of it, I immediately felt like it was something, well, when I first got diagnosed with PCOS, I felt like my doctor wasn't as comforting, wasn't informative, basically kind of just threw the term out there, prescribed some medicine, and that was pretty much it. So let's start with what it is. So PCOS stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome. It basically is a hormone disorder that causes when your ovaries are enlarged and then there's small cysts around the outer corners. So for me, I went to the doctor after trying to conceive for my second child. With my first child, it took me 4 years to conceive. I didn't have an ultrasound, do any blood work or anything. The doctors were basically implying that I was young and that, just keep trying, and basically it would happen. Right before I ended up getting pregnant with my son, we looked into a fertility doctor, and I ended up getting pregnant naturally the following month. So at that time, I'm not sure if I had already had PCOS for all these years, but it did take me a long time to conceive my first son. Now with this pregnancy, I failed to mention, I am currently now 29 weeks and 3 days pregnant. When I was trying to conceive for this baby, we took the birth control, which is the next one on. I had it inserted in my arm. I took it out, and my period took almost 8 months to come back. So I went to go see a local doctor that I was with because I had moved, and he mentioned starting metformin. He didn't say specifically that I had PCOS, but he was just like, for the irregular periods and everything, metformin would be helpful. When he prescribed it to me, I did not start taking it immediately. I didn't take it for months. My period came back naturally in May of 2018. It came back naturally May 2018. And yeah. Okay, so that's basically what PCOS is, a hormone disorder. The symptoms, like I said, I was having irregular periods. I would have a period, and then it would be 35 plus days until the next period will come. And the average cycle for a woman is 28 days. I know before getting married and before my weight gain, I had a steady every 28-day cycle. So like clockwork, my cycle came. Another symptom is excessive hair growth. So you'll see sometimes with some women, you'll see that they get hair on their face. They'll get hair on their chin, hair on their breasts. For me, I didn't get excessive hair growth. Personally, I'm not too much of a hairy person. I don't even really shave, to be honest. Anyways, and then another sign is acne, and then lastly, obesity. So like I was mentioning earlier about the metformin, there are a few different treatments. I know there are natural ways. I did watch a couple of videos of women naturally conquering PCOS with exercise, weight loss, changing their diet. The thing about the misconception, I feel like, with PCOS is it's just for bigger women, but that's not true. I've watched a lot of stories. I follow a lot of women on YouTube who are smaller girls, more petite girls, and they still have PCOS. So PCOS isn't like a one-size-fits-all. Like most people who are in this category look like this. Anybody can get it, any woman. So some of the treatments is birth control. So sometimes doctors prescribe birth control which helps to regulate the period. Now, however, it's kind of a damper when you're trying to conceive and you're getting birth control, which is kind of like fighting it, fighting against what you're trying to get and what you're trying to do. Another thing is they prescribe metformin, which I told you my original OB, my old OB had prescribed me metformin, and it basically prevents diabetes. It gets your cholesterol under control, and it helps the hormones to increase fertility, and it also a lot of women treat PCOS with getting like removal of the excess hair, because of course you want to look more feminine, and if you're having hair in this area, which is normally for men, then of course you want to get that removed. But anyways, so what I did, so what I did is we moved back closer to where my first OB was with my first son. Sorry, I am a little sick if I sound a little, Anyways, so I saw my doctor about my irregular periods. I went back to my original OB, and which I had with my son, and I informed him, we have been trying. My periods are irregular. Something's not right. The previous doctor prescribed me metformin. I didn't start taking it. What do you think? So basically, basically he sent me out to get blood work. So in the blood, they're looking for different hormones. They're looking for the testosterone, which is what PCOS creates. That's why you get hair like men. And he checked. What else did he check? I can't remember what else. But okay, so for the blood, he checked it. For me, everything came back normal. He sent me out to get an ultrasound. So this happened May of this year, May 2019. I went and I got an ultrasound. I went to see him in May 2019. I got the ultrasound after my period. So I had my last cycle May 28th. Another thing that I used was, oh my God, I feel like, okay, so let's be clear. So I saw the OB. I came back for a follow-up appointment. He scheduled me to get blood drawn and to get an ultrasound. Before seeing the doctor, I was already taking ovulation test because, like I said, I have irregular periods, meaning, you don't know how long that cycle is going to be. So I used a couple of handy-dandy apps. I'll insert a picture of one of the apps that I was using the month that I conceived. So I took ovulation tests during my peak fertility window, which the app, when you put in accurate information, like when you update it daily, it becomes a little bit more accurate. So what I did was I took ovulation tests. The ovulation test showed me when I was ovulating. The difference between this month and I feel like previous months is I didn't miss the ovulation. I realized now looking back, when I took the ovulation test, the lines weren't as dark as this time, which in order for you to get a go for ovulation, both of the lines have to be dark together. And I'll insert the picture somewhere over here so you guys can see it. It was the darkest ever. So when you take the ovulation test and you get that dark line, that lets you know that your eggs is going to be dropping within 24 to 48 hours and it's time to baby dance. So I used the ovulation test. I tracked it with the app. And then also what I started to do was I started exercising. So me, myself, and my husband, and my son, I would put my son in a stroller and we would walk the block. And we were walking maybe a mile or a half or so a day. So I was doing a lot of walking. I changed my diet. I have a video of me going shopping at Sprouts because it was more vegan, more less sugar, stuff like that. And I started taking my metformin. So from when I was diagnosed with PCOS, which was the beginning of June, I was in my 2-week window for ovulation, and literally I ovulated on June 14th, and I got a positive pregnancy test on June 24th. So for me, it kind of happened quick. When I went to ultrasound to confirm PCOS, I was very emotional. I'll never forget. I filmed that as well, so I'll leave you a little link. Like I said, they're looking for the large egg with it's like they call it like a pearl of cyst around the ovaries. And that's what I had. So it was confirmed. I did take the metformin, and on June 24th is when we found out we were pregnant. So what I did that month versus the other months is I changed my diet, I exercised, I started actually taking the metformin, and I took the metformin up until about 22 weeks pregnant, I want to say. I am now, like I said, 29 weeks pregnant. But yeah, so I just want to my whole point of this video was to, one, not like boast like, oh, this happened to me in a month, but to let you guys know that while you're in the wait, and if you do get diagnosed with PCOS, doesn't mean that it's the end. I remember asking the doctor, like, okay, so how long is this going to take with using metformin? And he was like, oh, it could take 6 months to a year, which was a very big damper on my spirit because my husband and I had already been trying for 13 months. And, well, that was the 13th month. We had already been trying for a year exactly since my period had came back. So it was a huge damper. So when I came 2 weeks later to confirm pregnancy, he was like, wait, I'm sure he was confused, but I know that I believe in God, and I know that my God is greater than the circumstance, and we are expecting our second baby boy. These pictures were taken, how many weeks was I? I was like 27 weeks. So that is our baby boy. I'm having he's due at the beginning of March, so I'm so excited. We have less than 77 days or less. I've been tracking, so I know. But yeah, so if any of you women have any questions, words of encouragement, let me know. Leave me a comment down below. It can happen for you. Everybody's story is different. There is a wait, and in your wait, already claim the victory. Already claim your baby. I know how it feels definitely to be out in public and see women, to be on social media, and you feel like you see people who, like, it's like, in my terms, I always say they sneeze and get pregnant, and you're like, well, what's wrong with me? There are options. There are natural routes. There are medicated routes. But whichever route you decide to go, just know that, you know, one day at the end, you'll have your baby. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative for you guys. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace. It's my time.